I'm Andy Story with Wild Lumens, and today's video is all about how to make carnivore coffee. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when I release new videos every week. Today, we're gonna do a little bit of an experiment. We're gonna make what's called carnivore coffee. I've never tried it. I just thought of this last night. I thought, what the hell? Let's try it out. When I came up with this crazy concoction, I figured we could probably get away with using 4 awesome ingredients. Number 1 being bone broth, number 2 being coffee, number 3 being butter, and number 4 being some kind of a good filtered water, spring water if you're able to get it. So right now, in the background, I have our water boiling, which gives us plenty of time to kind of go over bone broth in general and why we maybe should put this in our coffee. The reason I would do it, or the way I'm thinking about this, is to save time in the morning to get a little bit extra nutritional boost. Everybody I've spoken with has had great results with bone broth, whether in the keto community or the carnivore diet community or paleo community. Bone broth is great because it kind of helps you achieve a nose to tail way of eating and consuming meat products. The bone broth itself is very high in glycine, which is not found so much in muscle meat. So when you're doing the bone broth, that's what you're getting. This has also been known to help with stomach problems and help with inflammation and other things of that nature. Another thing we can chat about while the water is boiling is butter. I prefer to use a very high quality butter, and one of the better brands out there is Kerrygold. The reason I like Kerrygold is because the cows are grass fed and pastured regularly. Generally speaking, I prefer organic coffee. One of the brands I've used in the past is Kion. I like Kion because Ben Greenfield runs that company, and he's a big proponent of good, healthy, solid coffee without mycotoxins or any other pesticides for that matter. Now, when talking about coffee, proper storage is important as well. I use this airtight storage container from Airscape. According to them, and this is me just reading off their label, air is the enemy of food. With its patented design, the Airscape removes flavor-destroying oxygen from the storage compartment, resulting in longer shelf life and better quality products. So there you have it. I mean, if you're gonna have coffee and store it, you might as well do it the right way. Today, we're gonna use a French press to brew our coffee. For me, in order to fill this entire French press, my recipe calls for 3 of these scoops. This is about the size of 2 tablespoons, so 6 tablespoons total. What I do is just scoop out 3 scoops, place it into my coffee grinder, lock it in, and then go ahead and grind it for about 15 seconds, maybe a little longer. Then we lift up the top, give it a nice smell. It's really good. You can go ahead and pour the coffee grinds into our glass French press. And we should be almost ready. We're just waiting for the water to finish boiling. And now our water is done boiling, so we can turn off the burner and go ahead and pour our boiling water over the coffee grinds. Now, here's a very important piece of the puzzle. We need to stir this. But don't what I've done in the past, which is use a metal spoon. Go ahead and get yourself a wooden spoon. The metal spoon is definitely setting you up for disaster, as it will crack your glass container. We have our coffee totally stirred up. We're gonna let this sit for 5 minutes. I've found that 5 minutes is the perfect time to let your coffee brew. Okay, it's been 5 minutes and our coffee's ready to be pressed. So let's go ahead and press it down nice and slowly. And pour it into our blender. I'm using the Vitamix. And while we were waiting for the coffee to brew, I went ahead and measured out a half of cup of the actual bone broth. So let's go ahead and pour that in as well.
Chunky monkey.
Little on the chunky side, and we're getting some splashes, but we're in a kitchen, so we're good. And the last ingredient I'm going to add is our Kerrygold grass-fed butter. Now that's the amount we'll be using. I have no idea what this is measuring out to be, so take a visual cue and you'll be able to figure it out on your own to your own taste later on anyway. This is kind of what I like. So everything's ready to go. Got the good old trusty Vitamix, which I hardly use anymore since I'm a carnivore. There's two things I use Vitamix for: making carnivore coffee and liver pate. What I like to do is put it on low and then start it slowly. Let this thing go for about 15 to 20 seconds. We can lift our lid off, give it a little smell. Smells good to me. Today I'm using a clear mug so we can see what our product looks like. As you can see, we have a nice layer of froth, most likely from a mixture of bone broth and the butter. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. I don't want it to be too hot so I can actually get a good taste. As I was saying in the beginning of this episode, I've never tried this. So let's see what this carnivore coffee is all about. Very interesting. You can definitely taste the bone broth. You definitely taste the coffee. It's kind of competing with each other. It doesn't know what it wants to be. But I could see myself getting used to the taste. It took me a while just to get used to putting butter in coffee, and now I'm totally adapted to that, and I actually like it. With this bone broth, I feel like I'm in the same realm of that. If I would have this consecutively over the next couple of days, I could easily start to really like this. Today, we have a special guest in the house, a true professional, to give us another opinion on this whole carnivore coffee thing. Emily, come on down.
Hi, what did you make?
Okay, today we have carnivore coffee, and it's 4 ingredients.
Okay.
Coffee, bone broth, grass-fed butter, and filtered water.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm so ready. I have never had this. I'm quite intrigued by how this is going to taste.
You gotta be honest.
Okay. You said it had bone broth?
Yep.
It's gonna make my skin look nice. I like it. It tastes very, I don't know, clean. I get a hint of the bone broth, but I would drink it as a beverage. Yes.
All right.
This could be your new thing. Like, sell it as a product.
This could be it.
Yeah. I like it. I really
Now,
do.
if you're interested in making this carnivore coffee, I'm gonna make your life a little bit easier. Bone broth does take anywhere from 8, 12 or more hours to make. Plus you gotta go source the bones, prepare and get it. It's a pain in the butt. Now, if you wanna go hassle-free carnivore coffee, I'm gonna recommend 2 brands that offer pre-made bone broth. This is gonna save you about 8 to 12 or more hours of your time. Those 2 products will be listed below. The first one being Epic Bone Broth, and the second is Kettle and Fire. I recommend them both. If you guys want to dive deeper in the carnivore diet, go ahead and check out my blog, wildlumens.com. Or if you want to get inspired and learn some recipes, check out
Emily Cebu YouTube channel.
Also, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I hope you had an awesome time.
Cheers!
Cheers! Mmm.